The day started like any other on Earth. People went about their normal lives, unaware that everything was about to change. High above the planet, hidden from view, a massive alien fleet appeared out of nowhere. Their ships were huge, dark, and scary-looking. They moved into position around Earth, ready to attack. The first sign of trouble came when all the TVs, phones, and computers on Earth suddenly stopped working. Instead, they all showed the same thing: a face that wasn't human. It belonged to Commander Zixnax, the leader of the alien fleet. He was tall and blue with 4 eyes and sharp teeth. When he spoke, his voice was deep and angry. "People of Earth," Zixnax said, "we are the Zorixian Empire. Your planet now belongs to us. You have 24 hours to surrender. If you don't, we will destroy you all." As soon as the message ended, chaos broke out. People ran into the streets, scared and confused. Some cried, some yelled, and others tried to hide. The police and army didn't know what to do. They had never trained for an alien invasion. In Washington, D.C., the President of the United States called an emergency meeting. Leaders from all over the world joined in, talking through secret channels that the aliens couldn't hear. They all asked the same questions. What should we do? Can we fight back? Should we surrender? Meanwhile, scientists and military experts studied the alien ships. They used powerful telescopes and computers to learn as much as they could. What they found was not good news. The alien technology was far more advanced than anything on Earth. Their ships had strange force field shields that no Earth weapon could break through. As the hours passed, people around the world reacted in different ways. Some families huddled together at home, watching the sky and hoping the aliens would go away. Others went to churches, mosques, and temples to pray. In some cities, people even had end-of-the-world parties, thinking it might be their last chance to have fun. But not everyone gave up hope. In labs and military bases, humans worked hard to find a way to fight back. They knew the odds were against them, but they weren't going to give up without trying. One of these people was Dr. Emily Chen, a brilliant scientist working for NASA. As she looked at the data from the alien ships, she noticed something strange. There was a pattern in the way the force field shields worked. It was tiny, but it might be a weakness. Excited, she called her team together. "Look at this," she said, pointing to her computer screen. "If we hit the shields with just the right kind of energy pulse, at just the right time, we might be able to break through." Her team got to work right away, trying to build a weapon that could use this weakness. But would they have enough time? The 24-hour deadline was getting closer and closer. Up in space, Commander Zixnax watched Earth with his 4 eyes. He was sure the humans would surrender. After all, his empire had conquered many worlds before. But something about Earth made him feel uneasy. The humans weren't acting the way he expected. They seemed unpredictable. As the final hours ticked away, world leaders made a big decision. They would not surrender. Instead, they would send one person to talk to the aliens. This person needed to be smart, brave, and good at dealing with tough situations. After much discussion, they chose Sarah Chen, a young but very talented diplomat. Sarah was nervous but ready for the challenge. As she prepared to leave for the alien mothership, she thought about Earth and all the people counting on her. She knew the fate of the whole planet might depend on what she said and did. The story of Earth's first contact with aliens was just beginning. No one knew what would happen next, but one thing was clear: humanity wasn't going to give up without a fight. Sarah Chen stood at the launch pad, her heart racing. In just a few minutes, she would be on her way to the alien mothership. The fate of Earth rested on her shoulders. She took a deep breath and looked around. Hundreds of people had gathered to see her off. Some held signs wishing her luck. Others prayed silently. "You can do this, Sarah," her father said, giving her a quick hug. "Remember, you're representing all of us up there." Sarah nodded, trying to look brave. Inside, she felt scared and small. The alien ship loomed in the sky, bigger than anything she had ever seen. As she climbed into the small spacecraft that would take her up, she wondered if she was making a huge mistake. The journey to the mothership was short but terrifying. Sarah's little ship looked like a toy next to the massive alien vessel. As she got closer, she saw strange symbols and lights covering its surface. It was both beautiful and scary at the same time. A beam of blue light suddenly surrounded her ship. Sarah felt a moment of panic, but then realized it was pulling her in. She was being tractored into the alien hangar bay. When the doors of her ship opened, Sarah found herself face to face with the aliens. They were tall, at least 8 feet, with blue skin and 4 eyes. Their bodies were covered in what looked like armor, but it moved like it was alive. 2 of them stepped forward, pointing odd-looking devices at her. "Follow," one of them said in a deep, rumbling voice. Sarah was surprised they could speak English, but she didn't have time to think about it. She walked between the 2 aliens, trying not to stare at the strange sights around her. The inside of the ship was like nothing she had ever seen. The walls seemed to pulse with energy, and strange creatures scurried about, doing tasks she couldn't understand. After what felt like hours of walking through twisting corridors, they arrived at a large door. It slid open silently, revealing a room that looked like a mix between a throne room and a spaceship bridge. And there, sitting on a raised platform, was Commander Zixnax. He was even more intimidating in person. His 4 eyes focused on Sarah, and she felt like he was looking right through her. When he spoke, the whole room seemed to vibrate. "So this is Earth's champion," Zixnax said, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "A small female. Your world must truly be desperate." Sarah straightened her back and looked directly at the commander. She remembered all her training, all the people counting on her. "I am Sarah Chen, representative of Earth. I've come to talk about peace." Zixnax laughed, a sound like rocks grinding together. "Peace? There is no peace. There is only surrender or destruction. But please, entertain me. What can your primitive world offer the mighty Zorixian Empire?" For the next hour, Sarah talked. She spoke about Earth's cultures, its art, its music. She talked about human inventions and discoveries. All the while, Zixnax watched her with a mixture of amusement and growing frustration. "Enough," he finally shouted, standing up. "Your words are meaningless. Let me show you true power." With a wave of his hand, a section of the wall turned transparent. Sarah gasped. She could see Earth, beautiful and blue, floating in space, but surrounding it were hundreds of alien ships, all pointing weapons at the planet. "One word from me," Zixnax said, "and your world burns. Now, do you understand your situation?" Sarah felt fear grip her heart, but then she remembered something her mother once told her. "When you're scared, that's when you need to be brave the most." She turned to Zixnax, her eyes blazing with determination. "I understand perfectly," she said. "But let me ask you something, Commander. Do you understand us? Do you know what humans are capable of when we're threatened? We've faced disasters, wars, and our own near destruction. Every time, we've survived. We've grown stronger." Sarah stepped closer to Zixnax, ignoring the weapons pointed at her. "You think you know power. You haven't seen anything yet. Destroy our cities, and we'll rebuild. Attack us, and we'll fight back. And trust me, you don't want to see humanity when it's angry." For a moment, there was silence. Then, to everyone's surprise, Zixnax laughed. But this time, it wasn't mocking. It sounded almost impressed. "Well, well," he said, leaning back in his chair. "Perhaps this negotiation will be interesting after all." The air in the alien command room crackled with tension. Sarah Chen stood her ground, facing the towering form of Commander Zixnax. The alien leader's 4 eyes narrowed as he studied the human before him. "You speak bravely, little human," Zixnax said, his voice a low rumble. "But words alone will not save your planet. Perhaps it's time I showed you the true might of the Zorixian Empire. With a wave of his hand, Zixnax activated a large screen on the wall. It showed images of planets Sarah had never seen before. Beautiful worlds with strange, colorful landscapes. But as she watched, each planet was engulfed in fire, reduced to lifeless rock. These were civilizations that thought they could stand against us, Zixnax explained, a cruel smile on his face. They were wrong. Sarah felt her heart sink, but she refused to show fear. Those worlds weren't Earth, she said firmly. We're different. Zixnax laughed, a harsh sound that echoed through the room. Different? Yes, perhaps. But not strong enough. Not nearly strong enough to face the beast. At these words, the alien guards in the room stiffened. Some even took a step back, fear clear in their eyes. Sarah noticed this and felt a chill run down her spine. What could scare even these fierce warriors? The beast, Sarah asked, trying to keep her voice steady. What's that? Zixnax's smile grew wider, showing rows of sharp teeth. The beast is our ultimate weapon. A creature so terrifying, so unstoppable, that even the bravest warriors tremble at its name. It has brought entire galaxies to their knees. As he spoke, Zixnax pressed a button on his chair. A section of the floor began to open, revealing a dark pit below. Strange sounds echoed from the depths. Growls, scratches, and something that sounded almost like whimpering. You claim humans are strong, Zixnax said, his voice filled with mock pity. Let's see how you face the beast. If you survive, perhaps we'll continue our talk. Sarah's mind raced. She needed to buy more time. Wait, she shouted. Before you do this, at least tell me about the beast. If I'm going to face it, don't I deserve to know what it is? Zixnax paused, considering her words. Very well, he said finally. The beast comes from the darkest corners of our galaxy. We found it on a world of eternal night, where it had hunted and killed everything else. It took our best warriors and smartest scientists years to capture and control it. As he spoke, the sounds from the pit grew louder. Sarah could hear the alien guards whispering nervously to each other. The beast has no fear, Zixnax continued, his voice filled with a mix of pride and fear. It feels no pain. It never stops, never tires. And now it serves the Zorixian Empire. Sarah looked around the room, noting the exits, the positions of the guards. She was trapped, but she refused to give up. And you're just going to unleash this thing on me. Isn't that a bit unfair for a negotiation? Zixnax laughed again. Fair. There is no fair in war, little human. There is only victory or defeat. And today, you will learn the price of defying us. He stood up, towering over Sarah. Any last words before you meet your doom? Sarah took a deep breath. She thought of Earth, of all the people counting on her. She couldn't fail now. Just one thing, she said, looking Zixnax straight in his 4 eyes. Whatever this beast is, whatever it can do, remember this. Humans have faced monsters before. And we're still here. For a moment, Sarah thought she saw a flicker of doubt in Zixnax's eyes, but it passed quickly, replaced by cold determination. Brave words, the alien commander said. Let's see if they match your actions. He turned to his guards and bellowed a command that made them all flinch. Unleash the beast. The pit in the floor opened wider. The sounds grew louder. Sarah braced herself, ready to face whatever horror was about to emerge. The fate of Earth hung in the balance, and she was the only one who could save it. As the first shadow began to rise from the pit, Sarah Chen, representative of Earth, stood tall, prepared to face the beast. Sarah Chen's heart pounded in her chest as she watched the pit in the floor grow wider. The room fell silent, the only sound the low hum of the alien ship's engines. Even Commander Zixnax seemed to hold his breath, his 4 eyes fixed on the opening. Suddenly, a small platform rose from the depths. On it stood something, but it wasn't what Sarah expected. Not at all. The creature was small, barely reaching Sarah's knees. It had fluffy, rainbow-colored fur that shimmered in the light. Its eyes were large and round, sparkling like gemstones. Two floppy ears hung down on either side of its face, and a bushy tail wagged behind it. For a moment, Sarah just stared. Then, to everyone's surprise, she burst out laughing. "What?" she gasped between giggles. "This is your ultimate weapon. It's adorable." The alien guards looked at each other in confusion. Commander Zixnax's face twisted in anger and disbelief. "Adorable?" he roared. "This is the beast, the most feared creature in the galaxy. How dare you laugh?" But Sarah couldn't stop. The tension of the past few hours, the fear, the stress, it all came out in wave after wave of laughter. She bent over, clutching her sides. "I'm sorry," she said, wiping tears from her eyes. "But where I come from, this would be considered a cute pet. Look at those fluffy ears, and that wagging tail. What a cute pup." The creature, hearing Sarah's friendly tone, perked up its ears. It let out a small yip sound and bounded towards her, its tail wagging even faster. "No," Zixnax shouted. "Stay back. It will tear you apart." But instead of attacking, the creature jumped up and down in front of Sarah, clearly wanting to play. Without thinking, Sarah reached down and scratched behind its ears. The beast let out a happy purr and rolled over, exposing its belly. "Oh my goodness," Sarah cooed. "Who's a good boy?" "You are." "Yes, you are." The alien guards watched in shock as Sarah played with the creature. Some of them inched closer, curiosity overcoming their fear. Commander Zixnax sputtered in rage. This is impossible. The beast has destroyed entire armies. It's leveled cities. How can you just pet it?" Sarah looked up, still scratching the creature's belly. "I don't know what this little guy has done in the past, but right now he's acting like any friendly dog or cat from Earth. Maybe he was just scared before, or misunderstood." As if to prove her point, the beast rolled back onto its feet and gave Sarah's hand a gentle lick. Then it trotted over to one of the nearest guards and sat down, looking up expectantly. The guard, after a moment's hesitation, slowly reached out a hand. The creature sniffed it, then pushed its head under the hand, asking to be petted. The guard's eyes widened in surprise. "It's soft," the guard said, wonder in his voice. One by one, the other guards came closer. Soon, the fearsome alien warriors were cooing and fussing over the creature, their weapons forgotten. Commander Zixnax watched all this with a mix of confusion and anger. "Stop this at once," he ordered. "You're elite warriors, not whatever this is." But his words fell on deaf ears. The guards were too busy playing with their new furry friend. Sarah stood up, a smile on her face. She turned to Zixnax. "I think we need to talk," she said. "There's clearly been a big misunderstanding here." Zixnax's shoulders slumped. For the first time, he looked uncertain. "I don't understand," he said. "How can you be so unafraid?" Sarah's smile softened. "On Earth, we have a saying. Don't judge a book by its cover. It means appearances can be deceiving. Your beast might look scary to you, but to us, it's cute and friendly. Maybe there are other things about Earth you've misunderstood too." As she spoke, the creature trotted back to her, rubbing against her legs like a cat. Sarah picked it up, cradling it in her arms. "Now," she said, looking Zixnax in the eyes, "shall we start our negotiations again? This time, without any threats or ultimate weapons. I think we both have a lot to learn from each other." Zixnax looked at Sarah, then at the creature happily snuggling in her arms, then back at Sarah. Slowly, he nodded. The fate of Earth, it seemed, might just rest in the paws of a fluffy, rainbow-colored beast. The command room of the alien mothership was silent. Commander Zixnax stared at Sarah Chin, who was still holding the fluffy beast in her arms. The alien guard stood nearby, looking confused and a little embarrassed. I don't understand, Zixnax said finally. How can you call the beast cute? It's the most feared creature in our galaxy. Sarah scratched behind the creature's ears, making it purr happily. Well, she said, on Earth, we have many animals that look similar to this little guy. We call them pets. They're animals we keep for companionship and love. The aliens looked at each other in shock. One of the guards spoke up, his voice shaky. You keep creatures as companions. Voluntarily. Sarah nodded. Of course. Dogs, cats, rabbits, hamsters. Many Earth homes have at least one pet. They're part of our families. Zixnax shook his head in disbelief. But the beast, it destroyed entire armies. It leveled cities. Sarah looked down at the creature in her arms. It yawned, showing small, sharp teeth, then snuggled closer to her. Are you sure about that? She asked. Maybe there was some misunderstanding. This little one seems pretty harmless. The commander hesitated. Well, we found it on a dark planet. Everything else there was dead. We assumed. Ah, Sarah said, understanding dawning. On Earth, we have a saying. When you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. It means jumping to conclusions without all the facts can lead to mistakes. She put the creature down gently. It immediately trotted over to one of the guards and started playing with his bootlaces. Look, Sarah continued, this little guy probably survived on that planet because it was small and quick. Maybe it hid from whatever killed everything else. It doesn't mean it did the killing. The guard watching the creature play couldn't help but smile. It is kind of cute, he admitted quietly. Zixnax looked thoughtful. But what about the cities it destroyed? The armies it defeated? Sarah raised an eyebrow. Did you actually see it do those things? Or did you just hear stories? The commander shifted uncomfortably. Well, there were reports. Sarah said. And how many of those reports came after you started telling everyone how scary and dangerous the beast was? Zixnax's eyes widened as he realized what she was saying. You mean, we might have created our own monster just by believing in it? Sarah nodded. It's called a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you tell everyone something is dangerous, they'll act scared. And sometimes, acting scared can make situations worse. The beast had now curled up at the feet of one of the guards, fast asleep. The guard looked torn between his training to be fierce and his desire to pet the fluffy creature. But Zixnax protested. It's from the darkest part of the galaxy. Surely that means something. Sarah shrugged. On Earth, some of our cutest animals come from what you might call dark places. Pandas are from deep forests. Penguins live in the freezing cold. Just because something comes from a scary place doesn't make it scary. The commander sat down heavily in his chair. This changes everything, he muttered. Our whole invasion was based on our superior weapons and the beast. If the beast isn't what we thought, then maybe Earth isn't what you thought either. Sarah finished for him. Maybe it's time we talked properly. No threats, no weapons. Just two species trying to understand each other. Zixnax looked around the room. His fierce guards were now taking turns petting the sleeping beast. The creature that had terrified them for so long was nothing more than a fluffy, friendly animal. Perhaps, he said slowly, we have made a grave error about the beast and about Earth. Sarah smiled. That's okay, she said. Making mistakes is part of learning. The important thing is what we do next. She held out her hand to the alien commander. So, shall we start over? Hello, I'm Sarah Chen from Earth. We come in peace and would love to learn more about your people and culture. Zixnax stared at her hand for a moment. Then, slowly, he reached out and shook it. Hello, Sarah Chen from Earth. I am Commander Zixnax of the Zorixian Empire. We would be honored to learn from you as well. As they shook hands, the beast woke up, yawned, and trotted over to sit between them, its tail wagging happily. It seemed the fate of two civilizations had been changed by one small, fluffy creature and a big misunderstanding. As the tension in the room eased, Sarah Chen saw an opportunity. She had shown the aliens that their feared beast was actually harmless. Now it was time to demonstrate humanity's true strength. "Commander Zixnax," Sarah said, "you thought your beast was your ultimate weapon. But I'd like to show you what we consider our greatest strength on Earth." Zixnax looked curious. "Another weapon?" Sarah shook her head. "Not a weapon. Something much more powerful." She turned to one of the alien guards. "May I borrow your communication device?" The guard looked to Zixnax, who nodded. Sarah took the device, which looked like a small tablet. "Can this connect to Earth's internet?" After a few adjustments, Sarah had access. She smiled. "Now let me show you humanity's secret weapon, our ability to adapt, learn, and coexist with other species." She pulled up images of people with various pets: dogs, cats, horses, even exotic animals like snakes and tarantulas. The aliens crowded around, their eyes wide with wonder. "On Earth," Sarah explained, "we live alongside many different animals. Some were once wild, but over thousands of years, we formed bonds with them." She showed them a video of a man and his dog playing fetch. This animal, a dog, was once a wild wolf, but humans befriended them. Now, they're our companions, helpers, and even save lives. Next, she displayed images of working animals: guide dogs for the blind, horses pulling plows, dolphins helping with underwater searches. "We don't just tame animals," Sarah continued. "We form partnerships with them. We learn from each other." Zixnax looked amazed. "But how? How do you communicate with these creatures?" Sarah smiled. "Patience, understanding, and love. We observe, we try different approaches, and we never give up." She then showed them pictures of zoos and wildlife reserves. "We also protect and study animals we don't live with. We try to understand all life, not just control it." The aliens murmured among themselves, clearly impressed. "But that's not all," Sarah said. She pulled up images of diverse groups of humans working together, in offices, on construction sites, in space stations. "Our ability to adapt doesn't just apply to animals. Look at us. We come in different colors, sizes, and shapes. We have different beliefs and cultures. But we've learned to work together, to combine our strengths." She showed them pictures of the United Nations, of international scientific collaborations, of global charity efforts. "This is our true strength," Sarah declared. "Not weapons or fear, but understanding and cooperation. We're not perfect. We still have conflicts. But we always strive to do better, to understand more." Zixnax was silent for a long moment. Then he spoke, his voice filled with awe. This is incredible. You're saying your species routinely bonds with other life forms, that you seek to understand rather than conquer." Sarah nodded. "It's not always easy, but yes, we believe that diversity makes us stronger. Different perspectives help us solve problems in new ways." The commander looked at the beast, now playfully chasing its tail. "We've been so wrong," he muttered. "We saw your planet, teeming with different life forms, and thought it was chaos. We never imagined it could be harmony." Sarah placed a hand on Zixnax's arm. "It's not too late to learn. Earth would be honored to share our knowledge with you. And we'd love to learn from you too. Imagine what we could accomplish together." The alien guards nodded eagerly. One of them spoke up. "Commander, think of the advancements we could make. If they can tame and bond with so many species, imagine what they could teach us." Zixnax stood up straight, a new light in his eyes. "Sarah Chen of Earth, you have opened our eyes today. What you call your secret weapon is indeed more powerful than any destructive force we possess." He turned to his crew. "Contact the fleet. All ships stand down. We are no longer here to conquer." Looking back at Sarah, he continued, "If Earth is willing, We would like to establish peaceful relations. We have much to learn from each other." Sarah beamed. "Earth would be delighted, Commander. This could be the beginning of a beautiful friendship between our peoples." As if to seal the deal, the beast trotted over and sat between Sarah and Zixnax, looking up at them with its big, sparkling eyes. The human and the alien shared a laugh. In that moment, on a spaceship far above Earth, two vastly different species found common ground. Humanity's greatest strength, its ability to adapt, understand, and cooperate, had turned a potential war into a promising alliance. The future suddenly looked bright for both Earth and the Zorixian Empire. The next few days were a whirlwind of activity. Sarah Chen, once a simple diplomat, now found herself at the center of the most important event in human history. The alien invasion had turned into a peaceful first contact, all thanks to a fluffy creature and humanity's unique perspective. Back on Earth, people watched in awe as the massive alien ships, once so threatening, now hovered peacefully in the sky. News channels buzzed with excitement, showing footage of Sarah's first steps out of the alien mothership, Commander Zixnax by her side. "People of Earth," Sarah announced, her voice broadcast worldwide. "I bring good news. The Zorixian Empire comes in peace. We have much to learn from each other, and a bright future ahead as galactic neighbors." The response was overwhelming. Cheers erupted in cities across the globe. People hugged strangers in the street, tears of joy and relief streaming down their faces. The threat of destruction had turned into a promise of advancement and friendship. Over the next few weeks, Earth became a hub of intergalactic diplomacy. Alien diplomats from the Zorixian Empire arrived, eager to learn about human culture. In return, human scientists and leaders were invited aboard the alien ships to study their advanced technology. But the star of the show was undoubtedly the creature once known as the Beast, now affectionately nicknamed Fluffy by the human media. The small, rainbow-colored animal became a symbol of the new alliance. Children around the world begged their parents for toys and plushies of the alien pet. Sarah, along with a team of Earth's top scientists, worked tirelessly to understand Fluffy's species. They discovered that the creature had incredible regenerative abilities, which explained its survival on the harsh planet where it was found. This discovery led to breakthroughs in medical research, with the potential to cure diseases that had long plagued humanity. Commander Zixnax, for his part, embraced the role of intergalactic ambassador. He appeared on talk shows, answered questions from curious humans, and even tried Earth cuisine, though he found ice cream a bit too cold for his taste. "We came here thinking we knew everything," Zixnax admitted in one interview. "We thought our technology and our beast made us superior, but humans taught us that true strength lies in understanding and cooperation. We have much to learn from Earth." The Zorixians were particularly fascinated by Earth's diversity, not just in its people, but in its animals and ecosystems. Many alien scientists dedicated themselves to studying Earth's wildlife, amazed by the variety of life on one small planet. As a gesture of goodwill, the Zorixians shared some of their technology with Earth. Clean energy sources, advanced medical equipment, and faster-than-light communication devices soon became part of everyday life. In return, humans taught the aliens about art, music, and the joy of keeping pets. 6 months after the day that could have been an invasion, Earth hosted the first intergalactic cultural festival. Aliens and humans mingled freely, sharing food, stories, and laughter. Children played with alien young, finding joy in their differences and similarities. At the center of it all stood Sarah Chen, the woman who had changed the course of history with her understanding and compassion. As she watched humans and aliens interact peacefully, she felt a tug on her leg. Looking down, she saw Fluffy, wagging its tail. Sarah scooped up the creature, now her officially adopted pet. "You know," she said to Fluffy, scratching behind its ears, "they called you the Beast. But you turned out to be the galaxy's best peacemaker." Fluffy yipped happily, its rainbow fur shimmering in the sunlight. Nearby, Commander Zixnax was attempting to play fetch with a dog, his 4 eyes wide with delight as the animal brought back the thrown stick. As the sun set on another day of this new era, Sarah looked up at the stars. The universe no longer seemed vast and threatening. Instead, it was full of potential friends waiting to be understood. Earth had taken its first steps into a larger galactic community, armed not with weapons, but with curiosity, compassion, and the willingness to understand. The future was bright, and it was clear that humanity's greatest strengths, adaptability, empathy, and the ability to form bonds with other species, would serve them well in this new cosmic adventure. As Sarah always said, in the vast universe, understanding is our best tool, and friendship our greatest achievement. And so, the story of Earth's first alien contact ended not with a bang, but with a yip, a laugh, and a handshake between former enemies turned friends. The stars had never seemed brighter or closer.